So the fourth one is the path leading to Eightfold Noble Path. That is a very beautiful one, and we'll go through that. So the absolute true knowledge regarding these Four Noble Truths and their three aspects and 12 modes became clear to me. We did that in detail last time, but anyway, I know you all can understand. So Buddha was able to understand these four truths in really well from three aspects and 12 modes, right? So we'll go to this analysis of the Noble Eightfold Path here. So definitely eradicate all mental suffering, one has to follow the Noble Path. It is a set of habits to be developed and cultivated, and it is respectable and full of benefits. This Noble Path leads to right understanding and leads to seeing the reality of nature. Little by little we practice and reach closer to Nibbana, the end of suffering. So the first one starts with right view, or we can call it right understanding. Here the Samma, that is the Pali word, Sammaditthi. Samma means proper, complete and perfect. Actually, right is not the right word for that, even though they use right here, because a person has to completely practice that really well in order to attain enlightenment. So it's better call it perfect, but a lot of writers call it the right view, never mind. So as long as we know right is not a simple right, then you know that it's a good, proper right. So the first one is right understanding. In order to have the right understanding, these are the things that you need to realize. So you realize the Four Noble Truths. What is suffering? What is the cause of suffering? The way to get rid of it, and understanding the path leading to its cessation. So that is what we are going to do now. So now in the right understanding, right view, we actually the mundane person, now a person who has not attained this, who has not reached this Sotapanna. You know what Sotapanna is? The first stream enterer. The others are called mundane, like the worldlings, right? And the one who has reached above the normal level, knowledge above the normal level, are called supramundane. So we'll talk it as a mundane level, right? So we all are in the mundane level of we have a right view, but the right view that we have is not of a noble person. Right? So, according to our view, now I wear my glasses and I look at the world with this. I wear your glasses and then I see it in a different way, right? And then I use Jamie's, and then again it's another way I see it another different way. And Jared's also then might be in another way. So, the way you view the world is the way you have perceived the world now. That's the way you are seeing it from your mental states and all what you are about, with your environment and your upbringing. And then this is the view you have and your knowledge. And then according to that view, your thoughts are also different, isn't it? Now when we view something, if I am in an angry mood, the way I view things is different, and my thoughts are also different. The way I act will also different. So the right view here is the understanding the Four. So when you understand the Four, then that person has the right view even to advise us, because then his knowledge is very far, very good, we can say. Until then, the Buddha says, all the other decisions that we take, they can be wrong. They can be right, but we can't say that they are perfect or very good, because we tend to take decisions without the right knowledge. Why is that? Because we may have greed in us. We have anger, may have anger in us, and also we have delusion in. Because a person who has eradicated those defilements had got rid of those three. No anger, no delusion, no greed. Right? So then because we don't have that perfection, the view is still mundane. Right? So this is what we have to understand. How are we going to come to this right understanding? So we will go step by step. But I am not going to explain too much about right understanding, because when a person gains this right understanding, that person gains the right thought according to that perfect understanding. And all the other 5 or 6 will be perfected. So we will just look at in a mundane level. Right now, where we are, where we stand, because we offer dana, then we observe sil, we do all kinds of things, then we do charity, and then do we know where we stand in the Eightfold Noble Path? No. Do you know where we are? Whether we are perfected there? Oh, nobody can say. So we'll see what the Buddha says, and we'll try to compare ourselves with what the right means. Okay? The perfected one means. So
can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Is the understanding of dependent origination, is that a supramundane? Learning?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you realize, because the Buddha said, either realizing the Four Noble Truths or the dependent origination, if you understand either one of them, you can realize the Dhamma. Well, Four Noble Truth also talks about dukkha, no? And dependent origination also talks about dukkha, death, sickness, lamentation, grief, despair, all that is there. And also all what you're talking about in the Four Noble Truth, all that is there. And remember, in our life also, always put all our problems, all our difficulties into the Four Noble Truths and see where you stand. So you can always say, if you have a problem, if you have a suffering, this is one of the First Noble Truth. I am having the First Noble Truth of suffering. Then the second one, what is suffering? Why did this happen? Go to the root and see, why am I having this problem? Very easy to solve that problem. So then you can say, this is something I have, had some greed, or I'm so attached to something, and this is what it is giving me. So, in your intelligent mind, if you can reason it out, and if you can detach from that, because the third Noble Truth says, letting go, detachment. So if you can detach from that, and the fourth one, the Eightfold Noble Path. So now we will talk about it, because we have to talk a lot about that, how we are going to relinquish and detach from these things, right? So now, next one we go, now right thought and right intention. So right thought, now this is the thought that we need to develop, because we have to have always the letting go, renunciation, not grabbing, not greed, but gradually, little by little, intentions of letting go. Then the life becomes happier, peaceful for everybody. Then intentions of goodwill. Goodwill is loving kindness. Then intention of harmlessness, avihimsa, not hurting others. So we make sure that our actions and our efforts in whatever we do, that we don't harm others. So the 5 precepts are very good here, with right intentions also for harmlessness, because you practice the precepts, and loving kindness, and intentions of letting go. Things related to that. So when you reach this right thought perfectly, these are the things that you will gain. Right? Then we are going to right speech. Right speech is very easy, because you know why? Right speech, right action, and right livelihood, those 3 are very easy to practice for us. Why is that?
I don't know.
It is because no.
Right speech is difficult for me.
It's also easy because it's related to us, so we can understand. We do them through our mind, body, and speech. See, so you can, these three are not too bad, they're related to Sila, your virtues. Now here, in this, it talks about the ethical. The middle one talks about the ethical discipline in this diagram. So right speech, right action, right livelihood are your virtues. So as long as you know your virtues, your limits and guidelines, and if you keep up to that practice, that is perfect. That is very easy for us to perfect than the others. Yeah, so we can be very happy that in the Eightfold Noble Path, now we are very close to the ethical discipline. So now here, right speech also talks about, the four speeches that we should avoid from: false speech, slanderous, harsh, idle chatter, avoid those. Then right action, not killing, the first three in the 5 precepts, not taking life, not stealing, and leading up, not abstaining from sexual misconduct. So then the right livelihood also, when you decide to have an occupation, you plan to have an occupation that you don't sell drugs, you don't sell arms, and not selling meat and things like that. You organize your livelihood in a good manner where you don't break your precepts and all that. It's not a bad thing, your doctor can do that, a teacher can do that, a nurse can do that, There are so many jobs that you can do without killing animals and, harming others. So that is...
I'm a scientist, so I need to use animals to do the experiment.
But you don't kill, do you?
We need to kill.
That I know, yeah, medical school we do.
That's a problem that I'm thinking to change the career path. But what's different is...
No, but you are a scientist, so you have to keep killing animals.
If we need to do experiments.
Oh.
But in the medicine field, we still need to have someone to do the experiment. If not, we can't actually improve the quality of life.
Yeah. So now that way, the karma that you gain is not very strong, because it is for a good purpose. But still, you have a karma there.
It's a dilemma, isn't it? A dilemma.
Yes.
Because
if you want
you're doing
to,
it for the good
of
helping people.
I hope that is helping, but
there's a karma involved.
Yeah.
There's a karma involved.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure whether I should stop it. But we still need to have someone to do that job. It's different like the casino or selling drugs, because those we don't have to do. No one should do that.
Yeah.
But for the scientific research, like the medicine field, we need to have someone, unless we don't want to improve any medical things. So it's quite different. So that's why I'm in dilemma, whether I should continue to do that or I just change the career path.
Now?
I will finish, or I will definitely finish my PhD first.
Yeah, finish it first.
But after finishing...
finishing, then you can change your career. That's okay. So then you feel better, no?
Actually, I really want to change, but it's just that when I thought about that, then it's like I'm asking someone else to kill the animals to
that
work
is
for
not
me.
good.
No, it's like not asking someone. I mean, I let others to do something that
bad.
benefit to me.
Yeah, that is
but
even worse.
I'm not willing to do that myself. So it seems like not really a right things to do also.
No.
Yeah.
I expect someone to actually improve my life, but I don't want to do it myself.
No.
So
So what would you do?
I have no idea. I haven't decided yet.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, so let's decide it after finishing the full novel. Okay, so right livelihood also, in your day-to-day living, and all what the good things that we talk about in Buddhism, living a good life according to your right effort. I was talking about something else. Right effort, on the other side, it says the effort to restrain defilements. Now see? And effort to abandon defilements. The effort to develop wholesome states and the effort to maintain wholesome. So your thing is relevant to what we are talking here. So what you do is you do not let the unwholesome thoughts that has arisen in you. You don't let it arise in you. And do not let the unwholesome actions are already there in you. So you abandon them. Then the next one is develop the wholesome actions that has already arisen, and then make an effort to maintain that wholesome states that have arisen in you. So this is relevant to what you were saying. So if you know that some harm is happening there, according to our karmic law, then so you may have to make an effort not to let the unwholesome, it can be thoughts, it can be actions. Doesn't have to be thoughts, can be actions also. Not to let it come, like to happen, because always the thought makes an action. No? First you think about it and then you act it. So that's this right effort is the one that we have to keep watching in our daily life. Whether we are letting unwholesome thoughts arise, or we are, extend it further. So, if you keep an anger or something and you keep extending, then you are not in the right effort. So make sure that you're always in the right effort and you are trying to practice that. Okay? So the next one is right mindfulness. So right mindfulness is the right awareness, direct observation in reality. Awareness and mindfulness of things, oneself, feelings, thoughts, people and reality. So you keep your right mindfulness, you keep aware of all these things, you contemplate on your body, contemplation of feelings, how your feelings are, whether you have pleasurable, unpleasurable, and if they are unpleasurable, why are these feelings arise in me? Think about it as if I said you in the Four Noble Truths, put to all those links and see why these unwholesome things arise in me. What is the cause? Go to the root and see, can I get rid of this suffering? Otherwise you will keep on suffering if you cling to that and you get too attached to those things. So you have to expect suffering. So, and also contemplation of your mind. Now that is also important, because your mind objects, whatever you get into your mind, to your thoughts, be aware of them. So that we can always be aware and then, get rid of those unnecessary thoughts, like for the defilements, sensual pleasures, sloth and torpor, then your doubts, all that, anger. Let all those disappear, because those 5 defilements are giving us a lot of trouble. Those 5 defilements are the ones that we have to. So once the person gets rid of those 5, you become you go high up. Right. So then the next one is right concentration. Staying concentrated on a wholesome, single thing. Here it means wholesome means, because people also can rob things, banks, they are not wholesome. Mind, you can direct your mind to one thing for doing wrong things, unwholesome things. So that's why I said wholesome things. So it has to be one of the 40 samatha objects that the Buddha explained, right? So it has to be one of the samatha objects, because the first jhana, so you can get into these jhanas if you can suppress your defilements. So in your meditation, you have to learn to practice. When you sit down, you must learn to sit down very calmly. And even before you start your meditation, coming to the place, you set your mind free that evening. keep away from all unnecessary dealings, and then be in a very calm and serene position, and then you do your meditations. You know that the defilements come to you, so you try to let go of them, right? You can't stop them all of a sudden, but then you can suppress them. So when the time you suppress them only, then you feel this calmness and sereneness in your mind and body. That's the time you have let go of the defilements. You have suppressed, then only your joy arises and you feel tranquil. So you must let that come into your mind. So you release your body, relax, and then sit in a very quiet and comfortable place. Every day at home, if you have a place, special place, keep that special place for your meditation. So that you always know that, when you go sit down, this is what I do, and very calmly you can attend to that. You must find something like that. So all this analysis came from Magga Vibhanga Sutra, right? So, so this is then we'll talk. We have little time. Shall we talk about the Eightfold Noble Path in detail?
I just wondered if we could just explain what the jhanas are. Are they a state of mind that you reach when you...
No. The jhanas are... Now, when you have a peace, I told you try to subdue your 5 hindrances. So you should have no anger, right? No ill will. And even if you have anger, you must bring those angry people to your front, and you should spread metta and let it go. So the best thing is, you forgiving, that meditation. When you start with that, it's very easy to, subdue your problems, because sometimes we have little things, grudges, we keep them in our mind, and then they can come up in your meditation. So you forgive for everything. First you forgive yourself and have love for yourself first. When you do that, then you can do it to the others. So that way, so you sit in a very comfortable position. Then you find a good samatha. You have to find a good samatha. Because sometimes if the anapanasati is not helping you get into the jhana, there might be other ways that you can try.
So you can do metta meditation.
Yes, and through that you can go to jhanas, get into jhanas. And also even Buddhanusati, when you really practice it, well, you are very close to jhana. And from there you can do metta meditation or whatever, and you can gain jhana. And Anapanasati is a very good technique, because through Anapanasati you can go direct to Vipassana. Right? But a lot of people find it difficult with Anapanasati. I don't know, for jhanas. Some people find it difficult to go with metta. It depends your, in your temperaments.
So what's after metta? What's the next one?
So now you have selected an object. So what you do you sit very comfortably and you close your eyes, and then whatever the subject that you are practicing, say it's Anapanasati. If it is Anapanasati, you quietly practice it just the way that you've been taught. But it will not come in one day, right? You have to practice many days. If you had practiced in your past, it may come to you in one day. Otherwise, you have to practice a few days. It will come.
Okay.
It will come at a time that you will never expect.
Yes.
If you expect it, it will never come.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It will come at a time that you don't expect, and the time that you have really done your job. So when you're meditating, don't keep any other disturbances, cooking this and that, thinking about I have to pick that child and drop this one, and I had to cook this. Then this is what happened to a lot of people. You have to let go of all those difficulties and problems and then sit down to meditate. And evening I have found is very good. That's the time I used to meditate before ordaining. And because in the house it's very quiet, everyone's asleep, and you're on your own. So you can go for hours if you want. And early morning. Early morning, if you can wake up, if you can have the power to wake up, and that's the time. Other times, I don't know even if you can go into jhanas. Because to go into jhanas, at least you must have 1.5 hours to 2 hours of meditation. Because for you to prepare yourself for it will take, in the early stages, it will take some time. But later on, when you are you are an expert on doing it, more practice, it will come automatically. So for Metta Bhavana, you won't see the white, cloud or anything. But for Anapanasati, you will start feeling, for everybody it's different, you will feel heat or maybe a light, a heating light, or like the sun, and so you feel like opening your eyes and see. And then also like cloud or some white thing, and it's spreading and white like that. So each one, it's different. Okay? Yeah, so try calming your mind, because once you go into jhanas, you will begin to enjoy it, It's very peaceful and very nice. And also the other thing is your mind is very pliant for the attainments, because it's very strong. So you can see the reality really well. This is how the Buddha also saw it. The Eightfold Noble Path, it says now, you have to keep this formulation in your mind, right? So first one is, if a view is created by a being, all other steps will automatically arise according to that view. If a view is created by a person, all the 7, so if we have created, so according to your view, you have created all the other 7, okay? All of you are like that. So, and also it says, because these 8 steps are impermanent, they are, no? All the 8 are impermanent, they are not perfect. And they arise and they retire, come and go. And also then you have to think, who is the creator of this 8th path? Namely, your 6 faculties. Your 6 faculties create this path, right? Is it true or not? Who creates the 8th path? Who creates?
Who created?
Who created this 8th path for you? Your view. Your view. We are all in this 8th path. Any person, any human being is automatically in this path. We are all in that 8, but in different stages, right? So it's according to our view, we are also in this path. We are still struggling, to perfect them. We are already there. Some little, some less, some, but all what we have created, whatever that we have created through our senses, because we see, we perceive things, and our views are according to what we see and what we hear. And you learn, your view is according to what you study, isn't it? According to your studies, so you are in a different world, like. And Janet is in a different world, because she is doing different things. So you have already created your own according to your senses. The way your eyes see, your ears hear, your nose smells, the tongue, and all these sense faculties. They are all interconnected. And the Buddha says there is no one hearing, no one seeing. That person also keeps changing. Because we are changing from time to time. And our view also now, see, the view you had before you entered was different. Now once you entered and you listened to this Dhamma, now your view is entirely different, right? So because of this ear, the Eightfold Path began to change and created a view, and that also keeps changing. They arise and they retire. There's no one who heard, no I or me. Because if there was I or me, it should be the same, no? How can it change? There's no I or me. Huh? So whatever the karma, we all do good deeds, good ones and bad ones. So until we realize this, all those good ones will give us happier births. That's all. They keep giving us happiness and happier births. Right? So, so these 6 faculties always have created 8 items or steps according to our views and retired afterwards. And we call them I heard, I smelled, I tasted. And in Buddha's teaching, there is no I or me. When you understand this reality, this is the time you understand the whole noble truth. This path is the Buddha called the Arya Marga. Arya, have you heard of that? Arya Marga. Arya is the noble path. Okay? So when we change in 8 ways according to the Eightfold Path, the Buddha says this is the right view, right thoughts, right speech. So when you enter the Arya Marga, they all become right. Right? So there was another interesting one. Here I wanted to talk to you. There are 4 primary steps in recognizing the path. You know how to recognize the Eightfold Noble Path? To know each steps of the path correctly. Now we understood, no? We have them in it. So you know each step correctly. What you should do to reach that. How these steps work around and within us. Right? That also we spoke. To know the benefits and non-benefits. What are the benefits of practicing, treading the path? And how the Buddha showed to perfect each step. So, in order to learn the Eightfold Path, now these 4 are very important. and there is another interesting thing I want to tell you. When you practice right effort in mundane level, now we are practicing it in the mundane level, you create a good future for us because of the wholesome deeds you perform. It can be either your virtues, morality, or offerings, dana. In order for it to become right effort or perfected, you need to recollect your virtues as sila nusati. So say you are offering a dana, so you think I am practicing the Eightfold Noble Path. And you practice the sila, like your 8 precepts. And you think, oh, I am still in the Eightfold Path. So now how do you know whether you are really in that? How do you perfect it? You perfect it by understanding the right effort. I told you there, not to arisen, unwholesome deeds to arise. And not to allow the unwholesome deeds has already arisen. And then allow the wholesome deeds that has arisen in you. And try to promote the wholesome deeds that has not arisen in you. Those 4, always think about those 4 and bring that into your life. If you really want to work in the right effort. And then here it says, if you give a dana, and if you practice chaganusati, chaga means dana, recollection of your generosity, have you heard that meditation? If you can practice that, then you are in the right effort. Because then unwholesome thoughts will not come into you. And also, no greed, no hatred and no delusion in that performance. So when you are offering the dana, the middle, the beginning, the middle and the end also should be non-greed, non-hatred and non-delusion. When you are offering, then that becomes a right effort, right? And also when you are listening to Dhamma. And also here Buddha says, even though now you still have Samma Samadhi, the right concentration. Because if you don't have, not the right concentration, but you still have concentration. Because if you don't have that concentration, you can't listen to me. You won't be seated like that. And if you don't have this Samadhi, that is concentration, and if you don't have right mindfulness, you can't be listening, seated like that. So we all have that, but in a certain level. So this is what it teaches about. So next time we'll talk about this a little further, and then we'll go to dependent origination. Is that what? What would you like to do? To try and practice whatever you can do. Keep the right effort always in your forefront. Right effort. Don't let, because as students, we can do that. We can't ask you to go and meditate like, we do, because we are different. But in your case, you have to, live a life. So you have to do different your studies, you have to have your future, there's a lot of things. So, but keeping this Eightfold Noble Path in mind and selecting a proper career for you so that you can, boost up your livelihood, good livelihood, and in your right actions, try and perfect them, and then right effort. Make an effort to bring your right efforts, and also while doing that, you also can do vipassana, no? Right, this mindfulness. You can practice those feelings, thoughts, and mental states, all that. So you are in the path.
Oh, I have a question.
Yes.
Like for this right concentration, right? So is there a need to actually attain all these jhanas to?
They say, some say it's not necessary, because they say some people cannot.
Because the jhana is also, does it actually help you to realize the truth
Yes,
more?
yeah. Because the jhanas are, they are very pliant enough for you to understand the truth. When you go into the jhanas, your brain is so powerful.
So it's
you
just-
don't have to go to the level 4.
Yeah, you one or two.
You just need, but you need to have the ability. to
Ability,
go to-
one, even 1, 2. Yeah.
So it's like a state of
Yes.
meditation.
concentration.
Yeah, concentration. Yeah. It's very beautiful. It's very peaceful. Joy, and you will notice it when the joy arises. If the joy is arising, that means you are in a jhana. And if your mind is one-pointed, then that is it. So that's a good state. So, when you're in a jhana, you don't feel your body. That's another good thing. You don't have aches. You don't feel it at all. And you feel only the head because it's going from there. Well, you will feel very beautiful here. Yeah. So you can try that too. And if it's not coming, you can try for a few years and see whether it works. And if it's not there, you can go straight to Vipassana. And through Vipassana also you can gain concentration. There are different ways, there is another way. They say, the bare attention, meditation on bare attention, you haven't heard, no? That practice is also very good, and it gives very powerful concentration through bare attention. So we can practice that one of these days. So because the time has come for us to go, so let us all pass these merits to the guardian gods. Do you know the datas? Akasattaja? No? Okay. So let us pass all the merits that we have generated today to the guardian devas, nagas, and all of mighty power. May they all receive these merits, be well, happy, and peaceful, and look after the Buddha's dispensation and take care of all of us. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us pass all the merits that we generated to our dearly departed relatives, and may they attain Nibbana and be peaceful and happy from wherever they are. Let us pass all those merits, the good thoughts, the happy thoughts, and karmic thoughts that we generated today. We will wish the University of Queensland, first of all, we be very grateful